Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm Annabelle Baldy from BioBuzz, and I'm very excited to have you guys all here for another one of our Career Catalyst sessions. These are a weekly series that we do that brings you direct practical insights from industry experts to help move you forward in your career. And today we're going to be talking about what I think is probably one of the most important tools in your job search, your resume. So it's your first impression, and we're going to be breaking down kind of what hiring managers and recruiters are really looking for, how to use those strategic keywords and phrasing, and how to really make some impactful changes to help make your experience stand out. So today we're excited to be joined by Andrea Hernandez, a career strategist and consultant who helps professionals unlock their purpose and potential. She founded Empowerment Solutions, and before that, she built a decades-long career in administrative leadership across dental practices and government operations, and she's continued that work through career coaching, resume support, and mentorship. So she's very passionate about helping others navigate these kind of career transitions and thrive in their next chapter, and she's going to have a great session today and kind of telling us what to kind of look for and changing up your resume. Before we do get started, I do want to give a shout out to BioTrack for sponsoring today's session. They have over 30 years of experience and they've helped train over 17,000 scientists. So if you're looking for any upskilling resources, I would definitely check them out at biotrack.com. They're a great, great resource. All right, so let's dive in. I'm going to hand it over to Andrea.
Thank you, Annabelle, for the introduction and the opportunity to join the Career Catalyst. Hi, everybody. It's great to be here today, and we will be discussing my favorite topic, and that is decoding resumes. So before I dive in, just to get you a little bit more about myself, I am a career strategist and dental administrative consultant. I started off with 8 years in dental practice management, focusing on process improvement and managing multi-site practices. From there, I transitioned into the government, spending 7 years supporting the Associate Director of Laboratory Programs at National Institute of Standard Technology. And also, I currently serve in the U.S. Army Reserves. It's been 13 years, and I'm still serving. There's anybody in the Army, I would like to know. So you all might be wondering, how did I get into career coaching, even though I did a lot of process improvement? Well, throughout my career, I've had the incredible opportunity to mentor professionals, help them get promoted, and guide them in navigating their next career move. People in my community and even colleagues throughout my career just kind of came to me, just kind of asking advice on how they can optimize their resumes. And also throughout my leadership experience in supervising and managing, I was able to see many, many resumes. And that inspired me a lot to help people to show their impact through resume writing. It's really, really my passion to empower people to just unlock their potential and their power. So let's dive into it. So to start off with a little bit of humor, I'm not sure why it's not really popping up here, but let me go back. So let me ask you if anything. I'm sorry the image is not popping up here, but it was pretty funny. How many of you here, and please feel free to drop in the chat here, how many of you have started overthinking, procrastinating, and even just the overwhelming of information overload and self-doubt when it comes to resume writing? I know a lot of us have been there. I know that it can be daunting, but I do want to emphasize that, yes, resume writing can be daunting, but as long as you know your worth and value and know how to communicate it, you can create a resume that is very powerful and something that truly represents you. I know there is, again, a lot of information overload, but it all comes down to one thing, and that is truly knowing yourself and who you are in your career. Um, here. So today we will be discussing the 6 to 10 second scan, decoding what hiring managers want, mastering resume keywords and phrasing, writing high impact bullets in your professional experience, and formatting for clarity, impact, and ATS. Practical tips to make your experience shine. Okay. All right. So, why does your resume matter? So, your resume is not just a list of your responsibilities and your duties. It's your first impression and your primary marketing tool. Um, as you all may know, most recruiters and hiring managers takes about usually they say 6 seconds, but I'll say 5 to 10 seconds scanning a resume before whether it goes into the review further pile or to the reject pile. During those 5 to 10 seconds, what usually gets noticed is your professional summary. Okay. Um, Usually they like to see if you have a strong first statement, which is your first sentence. I kind of like to call your professional summary like your pitch. Okay. So that's one of the things that will stand out. Also, clear formatting is very important. How organized is your resume? Is it too crammed up? Is there too much detail? So it's very, very important as well that you have a very formatted resume. Also, professional stability. They look to see as far as, if you have, how long have you been in your career. Also to see if there's any fast visible accomplishments as well, and relevant keywords. So we'll get into that as well as we go into the presentation. Also, what impact and value do you bring? And my favorite one is Chat GPT written. Now, I know that we all use Chat GPT, okay? And I'm not against it at all whatsoever, but you want your resume to sound like you. You don't want your resume to sound robotic. And also, I'm pretty sure you've seen the M dashes in Chat GPT. Those things recruiters and hiring managers can notice as well now. And also, if you do download a resume from ChatGPT, I'm pretty sure you've seen it where the font is all blue and white. All those things are red flags and shows to recruiters and hiring managers that you have used ChatGPT. So it's very important that, yes, you can incorporate ChatGPT, but also just to make sure that you have something that is, again, coming from your tone. Okay. So personal branding. So as we said, you want your resume to show your story, okay? So personal branding is the powerful act of owning your story and showing the world exactly who you are meant to be. It's about defining the message you want others to walk away with, which are your strengths, your values, your presence, and the impact you're here to make. Everyone has a brand, but the difference comes from choosing to shape it with intention. So when you brand yourself strategically, here's the thing: the job market can be competitive, and yes, I know it can be competitive, but if you know how to present yourself authentically, okay, and show yourself with intention, you will stand out from other generic applicants, okay? So as long as you do that, you can attract the right opportunities and also, speak with confidence and impact. All right. So what are the 3 keys to knowing your personal brand? So first thing is what is your position? What are your strengths and skills and the actions you take? And the how. The how is what sets you apart? You know, how do your strengths and your values and personality set you apart? And also the why. This is very important. And I think that the what and the how can get pretty easy to interpret, but for some reason, when sometimes we get to the why, we kind of get stuck. But this is where you really, really want to dive in, because this is where you can really make a huge impact on your resume by doing this, is really digging in on finding what inspires you in your career. So I want to take just maybe 1 minute, Annabelle. I know we're on time here, but I really want, at least for everybody here, just for 1 minute, I really want everybody to ask yourself this question. What inspires you in your career? What gives you that fire? You know, I know that we live day by day and stuff like that, but there's a reason what you're doing right now. So I want you to take just 1 minute just to really dive in and ask yourself, what is it in your career that you enjoy doing the most, and what impact are you making? Okay, I'll just give everybody that 1 minute. Okay. Okay, great. All right, so I'm hoping everybody was able to jot some things down. And this is very important, because once we go on, everything will fall into place. So just hold on to that statement, whatever you wrote down, hold on to that. And then once we go forward, we'll be able to see what we can do here. Okay, so let's discuss decoding a job post. Okay, so now that we have an idea of personal branding, as in, you know, as we said, getting to know ourselves and what inspires us in our career, once we hold on to that, now we are able to now know how to decode a job post. So knowing what the employer wants makes it easier to decide what to emphasize on your resume and which keywords to use. So I know that there's a lot of topics when it comes to keywords and buzzwords, but it all starts to decoding the job post. There are a lot of tools out there that are able to assist with identifying keyword and job posts, but I strongly feel that when you learn it yourself and you're able to identify them, then it's easier for you to apply it to your resume and also relate it to your skills as well. Okay, so there are 2 codes to look for when it comes to decoding a job post. And the first one is job duty skills and work traits. So the job duties and skills are the specific tasks the employer wants you to be able to do, and if wants you to be able to do, and if they listed them, they're important. These might include things like, for example, design brand strategies, close sales, train new employees, or manage staff. So those are your job duties and skills. The work traits are the intangible qualities they're speaking, such as being creative, a team player, or comfortable in a fast-paced environment. In the next slide, I will show you just a job post here. I know it's like a lot of highlighting everywhere here, but this is just an example of how you can decode it. So as we said earlier, there are 2 types. So when you kind of read through this job post, the first thing you want to do is take your time to read the job post, right? I know, like, sometimes we skim throughout and everything, but it's very important to read it thoroughly, okay? And as you can see in this job post, there are several keywords that are highlighted here, right? Research and development, scientific, technical stuff. I'm not going to read every single one here, but the most important ones here is basically what the hiring manager or the employer are looking for, and also their purpose as well. So these are very important to understand so that you're able to translate it and also add them into your resume. Now, we have this one here. Okay, perfect. This is an example of, I'll call this like a 5-star resume, right? So this right here is, as you can see, it's clearly formatted. You have a clear header. It has your name, city, state, the phone number, your email, and your LinkedIn profile link. I get a lot of questions about if you need to put your address and so forth. You don't need to put your address. You just need to put the city and the state. So yes. Also, if you don't have a LinkedIn profile, that's okay. But if you do, yes, please add it onto the header. Then you also have the title. So the title is basically the position that you're in right now. And also right below it, as you can see, you can highlight your 5 to 4 top skills. Now, there are a lot of different resume formats out there, but it all comes down to the same thing, because I know like it can get confusing, but as long as it emphasizes all these areas here, then it's okay. And we'll get into formatting in a second, but I just wanted to emphasize that really quickly. Your professional summary, which is I also call your pitch. So in your professional summary, as I said, when recruiters and hiring managers are looking at this, they don't want something too detailed. You want something kind of like, I would say 3 to 4 sentences. Now, if you're an executive, then yes, then you can make it a little bit longer. But for everything else, I would keep it from 3 to 4 sentences. And during those 3 sentences, it should include a positive adjective, years of experience, and a few key areas from the job posting. Also include responsibilities or the strengths that match the job posting and a general result if possible. And third, a statement about your values or work philosophy. So this is just kind of an example here on how to structure your professional summary. Now, when we get into the skills, okay, which is we can also call here areas of expertise. I know a lot of people call them maybe core skills. There's other words of saying that, but that's fine. But these right here emphasize your main skills, and these are actually from the job post. So as you can see here, there's some keywords here that were added, not from the job post I showed previously, but this is from another one. But this is very, very important that you add the keywords in this section here. Now, I'm not telling everybody to add every single keyword from the job post. You don't want to do that on this area specifically. ATS systems does flag keyword stuffing. So if you do add too much of it out there, it will flag it. I just highly suggest that when you add these keywords, again, ask yourself, which ones are you most skilled at? And which ones can you back up as well? So it's very important. Also, career highlights are also very important as well. If you don't have career highlights, or if you don't have as many accomplishments to add, then it's okay to, you don't have to have this section here. But if you do, then I strongly emphasize to add career highlights. Career highlights are basically your top 2 or 3 accomplishments throughout your work experience. Okay. And then also we get to our professional experience, where this is where you list all your, I call them impactful bullet points. So again, you're not here listing like, oh, I do this and that's it. No, you want to basically emphasize, for example, what are the problems that you're solving? What did you do to actually fix it? Who benefited it? Did anything improve? Did you save time, money, stress? Did you prevent issues or make anything easier? These are all how I call them impactful bullet points, and you want to list them, as you can see here on this resume. Okay. So these are just again, give you an idea of, again, what usually recruiters and hiring managers are looking for. They want to get straight to the point on what it is that you can basically bring to the table. Okay, so education and voluntary experience. Education. Full name of the credential, as you can see here, I have an example here showing. You want to list the title of the degree, the school, and city and state. If degrees are older than 15 years, then you don't need to add the dates. If you're still working toward a degree, you can list the expected graduation year or the month and year, and if it's this year, so it's clear that you're not finished yet. For voluntary experience. Voluntary experience is very important. I'm not sure why that many people don't add them there, but please do. I really think it's very important that if you do have volunteer experience, please add it to your resume, especially if it's transferable skills or mirrors the responsibilities of a paid role. For students and recent graduates, this experience can be a strong advantage and may be listed as relevant experience. I also added the technical skills. So technical skills just strongly emphasize of certain skills that you have in your role. So in this case, as you can see here, it's listed based on the role. Okay. Additional information that can be added in your resume, if you did not know, you can add your certifications, your technical skills, languages, publications, memberships, and presentations. So if you have any of these should be listed on your resume. All right, resume formatting. So for your resume, for fonts, I would suggest to keep it for under Arial, Calibri, Georgia, Times New Roman, and Helvetica. And also for your font size, for your body, okay, I would say between 10 to 11 point font. For your section headers, I would say between 12 to 14. And for one page, for early careers from up to 8 years, you keep it to 1 page. For mid-year, senior technical roles, 2 pages. And for executive roles, you can do 2 to more pages. It should be free of spelling and grammar errors, and lining and spacing is clean. Avoid tables, columns, graphics, and as I said earlier, ChatGPT phrasing and M dashes. So now I say tables and columns, like I know, like for example, Canva has a lot of resume templates and so forth. Now, if you're really good with graphics, and I know there's a feature where if you're able to download it, and I know that there's a feature where you can download it and as a PDF and you can see if it's scannable, then it's fine. But I would really just keep it through Word, okay? And avoid any tables, columns, and graphics of that. I would also avoid any pictures as well. So that's very important. Okay, so tailor or not to tailor? Do you need a different resume for every job? No, you do not. You don't need to rewrite your resume for every application. Instead, you'll just make light adjustments based on the role, such as updating your skill section, tailoring your summary, or switching a few bullet points so your experience aligns more closely with the job, but you don't have to tailor it completely. So I want to emphasize that as well. Okay, so that completes my presentation. If anybody has questions, I would love to answer them. This is my information. You're more than happy to email me, connect with me on LinkedIn, and this is the QR code if you are interested in, seeking more guidance on resume writing or in career coaching. Feel free to book here. So from here on, if anybody has questions, please let me know.